I knew that I didn't want to go the typical route that's open to indigenous artists, which is working with galleries. And I knew that I didn't want to do that because there was kind of this legacy of indigenous artists getting exploited by galleries that my family was connected to. And so I didn't want to participate in that. So I started thinking about other ways that I can make my traditional artwork sustainable without working with galleries. And I realized that I really needed to explore putting my art on products. My goal was to do as our ancestors might, which was to create a design specifically for the shape and the utility of a product, mass produce it within the United States or Canada in a way that was consistent with my values. And, I've done that by launching the cell phone cases, pillows, blankets, and I still continue to do my original artwork on shoes. Art and design is an excellent avenue to explore in terms of a career. In much the same way, that like sports are an avenue for developing discipline, possibly providing an avenue to be more mobile, to choose where you want to live. But I think that when people start to explore art, they should really think of it in generational context. So the first steps, like in exploring traditional art, I think is to find people who are already doing it and see if you can establish a mentoring relationship with them. But it's important that, once you have that kind of relationship in place and, become competent with your traditional art form, that you don't limit yourself in terms of your expression to other people's sensibilities about what authentic art is for your community. Spend that time learning the traditional art, but once you understand that traditional art form, feel free to explore expressing that within the context of your own experience, because it's only by doing that that you're going to make that your artwork and your experience relevant to other people who are growing up in the same time context as you. I'm a totally self-taught artist, and I've only been doing art for about 5 years. A critical step for me was to learn how to work with Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop. Adobe Illustrator is essential for taking your art and making and vectorizing it. And once you have it vectored, you can change the color easily. You can apply it to a number of different products. And once I figured that out, I was able to get my art set up for different kinds of products. And it made all the difference in the world that I could do it myself rather than just sending it to a company to do, because I was able to customize it for the shape of the product. I started off just doing original art on shoes. That was kind of the most accessible way for me. I figured, working on a canvas, that was for fine artists. I didn't feel as though I had license to be able to do that. So I was like, let me draw on these shoes. And I just wanted to create something that reflected who I was as a person. It wasn't a business idea, but people responded to it like crazy. But because I still wasn't organized as a business at that time, my next step was to take it to social media. When I posted pictures on Facebook, it immediately started getting a lot of response. And, I can even say that some of my art went viral. And now, 5 years later, I have a Facebook fan page of about 60,000 people. And that's, 90% of that is just completely organic without any ads at all. I think the art market has changed. We no longer need other people to represent us. I think social media, the web, World Wide Web, is a really powerful tool for leveling the playing field. And so now we can access people who have the resources and interest in buying original art on our own. And all it requires is that we start developing some of the basic business knowledge it takes to, create a website, post your art on the website, and market it. So my work, I feel like the real artistry in my work is not so much like putting a nice picture on shoes or a product, but it's the real artistry is using my art to create a message. And so for me, the message is really about kind of modeling an alternative pathway for indigenous artists about how to make their artwork sustainable. And there's a strong relationship between people who feel like they have a lot of choices in life and their level of happiness. And I think that building capacity for Native artists means being able to choose whether you want to work with a gallery, not work with a gallery, where you want to market your work, what kind of artwork you want to do. Yeah, and I think that, once some of those basic skills are in place for these creative folks, that who knows what they'll create.